Yes, we are live.
And we are live.
Is there anybody out there? I don't know. But we are live with Season 6, Episode 2.
Sweet.
I don't know how sweet it is, but is it like a cookie sweet? Or is it biscuit sweet?
We got four watching now, it says. I would say it's kind of like a biscotti.
Well, 2 of those are probably us.
Looks like we've got 2 folks, or one folk right now in the house, Mr. Clark Stepp. Hey, Clark. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Chris is in the house too, and early. Now this season he's coming in right away, which is cool.
Howdy, Clark and Chris. There's this Palmer guy that's in here too. And I'm not sure how to pronounce the name of the channel. Red Legitim? Not sure. Oh, Mel's in. Hi, Mel. Thanks for doing the show.
Dan's in the house as well. Cool. Got a lot of people on already.
Oh, yeah. So Dan's in. We got Matthew. Everybody. Man, it's like I don't think we've had this many all at once at the same time. It's like crazy.
Not in the beginning. That's
it's...
We've had up to 13 at one point, I think, hanging out.
Yeah, I think that's our record. Was that?
So
red. Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, it's like I wasn't putting into context.
So, what have you been up to, Rusty? Let's do what you've been doing, hobbying, playing games, like getting back to the foundation of our intro. What have you been doing from a hobby perspective, playing games perspective, and what is your choice of musty drink for this evening?
Well, let's see. We played a game on, what day was that? Saturday? Or was that Sunday? Sunday. We played a game of Battle Valor 15 mil fantasy on Sunday. I have to get my days straight. They all kind of blend together. Game went, we had Orcs versus Chaos, and Chaos won.
I was playing.
Yeah, it was.
Orc didn't intervene.
Yeah, we had a new guy come into the playing with us, so we put him on the Chaos side, so he could have. And then we did the good Orky style play, and then the dice gods hated us. When you'd roll 24 dice and you need 5s and 6s, and you get maybe 1 or 2 hits.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, you didn't sacrifice a goat, did you, to the gods and make your dice roll better? Did you, Mel? Come on, Mel. So that was what we did on Sunday. I've been working on miniatures. I got all this. I did a video announcing that we're doing the show, and I got these guys done. They're still in the box. I suppose I could take them out of the box and show them if I feel ambitious. If I could. Is this adult proof? They went in. There we go. There. Well, we got those. Get there.
Nice.
Got those done.
Pre-painted.
Yeah, they come right out of the box, pre-painted. It was amazing.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I got those done the other day, and then I got these done. They're all done up in Wolf's Dragoons clan, or actually they're not really clan, but they're clan mechs that are done at the Wolf Dragoons. Black Widow, Natasha Karinsky colors for the Black Widows.
So it was actually based on Marvel, the Black Widow? Or was it? Did they have their own actual faction called the Black Widows as well?
The Black Widows were the Natasha Karinsky called herself the Black Widow.
Yeah,
and because she's a descendant of Karinsky himself.
But I mean, in the BattleTech universe, is there a clan like a Black Widow faction clan?
No.
Okay.
She's
so
part of clan.
You might be doing an Iron Man clan next, or like.
Yeah. Well, she's part of Clan Wolf, and then they came to the Inner Sphere and acted like they're mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
But she was actually a clan warrior. So she was a really good warrior when she showed up.
Cool.
And then the Wolf's Dragoons are named after, the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got her. This is Natasha's Dayashi. Right there.
Nice.
Finished that one today. Got Annihilator. All done. I think I showed in the video that they were almost done. So I did finish it.
Isn't that kind of like a tongue twister when you say Natasha Dayashi? Like it's two shushes in the same name. It's like Natasha Dayashi. Natasha
Karinsky is that Dayashi. Natasha's Dayashi.
10 times?
Yeah.
Really fast.
And then your tongue gets tied up and then you can't talk because it's in a knot.
Oh, looks like we got Dwayne in the house. Right at the right time. Perfect timing.
What's the crack? Yeah, we're tied. Well, yeah, that's possible. Clan Widowmaker, because, it's like we do not talk about that. So
nice.
So that was that's the Rifleman, and then we got the Blackjack.
Cool.
There we go.
They're definitely bigger than the original ones, right?
Oh yeah, it's like the original Dayashi would be up to about that tall.
Yeah, they look good though.
Yeah, they look good because the originals were 6 mil, and new ones are 10 mil. So
yeah,
they made them so big that they could barely fit on the base.
It's kind of like Adeptus Titanicus, where they kind of actually made everything from 6 mil to 8 mil. It has that. It does look good though. They look nice bigger, but it's just hard when you have a lot of this stuff, I guess, already.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're bringing up some history that I have no idea what you're talking about. Stuff that shall not be named.
Who is? In the comments?
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Nice work on those. The Widow scheme is good for a Clan Wolf or Clan Wolf in Exile. True. There was a Widowmaker. Yes, the clan. They had genes, right? Yeah, maybe. What's the crack? How many bottles do you have in there? You sound like you just opened up a 12-pack of bottles.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
No, that was actually, I just grabbed a camera off the floor. I don't know what you mean. I think maybe that was wishful thinking.
Well, it sounded like you're like, that's nothing. This is not the 12-pack you're looking for. Let's see. Just uploaded the video at stupid o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Oh, it's like you upload. Oh, was it the your Advent mech calendar? Is that what you're uploading? Widowmaker is okay. The wolves absorbed him. It's like one of those things where, there was trial, basically kind of like, almost like a trial possession, and they got taken over, and it's like nom nom nom. And
so, what is your drink for tonight?
my drink for the night. Okay. I suppose I should have expanded on my individual, but I got Hatazuki tonight. Japanese
cool.
whiskey.
So is that
aged in Scottish barrels?
So I'm trying to remember the one that I usually drink. It's been a bit since I finished the bottle.
The one that's in the squarish bottle.
Centauri is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, have you had that one compared to Centauri?
Yeah, this one's light.
I find Centauri is kind of light too. It's nice though.
Yeah,
I like Japanese whiskey actually. It's really good.
See, it's almost so clear that there's nothing. Oh man, it smells kind of a pearish apple to it, with a slight honey.
Did you not finish your hobby stuff that you wanted to expand further on
it? What else do I have going on around here? Well, I was been working on other stuff, but that's pretty much it, I think.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I kind of just set up my camera real quick just to show. I'll just show what I'm working on tonight. It's what I was working on the last show. I've been very unproductive, but having said that, I started, and these guys.
Oh, your mic kicked out on us.
Oh, you can't hear me now?
I can hear you now, but it's like for a while there you were.
Oh. Well, I've been working on the gold on this, and so I'm going to be doing more of that, and then doing some of the leather straps in black on them and stuff. And so I have a few of them to do this on, and so I'll be working on that tonight. I think I've showed this stuff like maybe on the Facebook page, but I've been like doing a little bit of modeling of the dragon, the old school dragon ogres. And so I have another one to put together like this, but I still have to do putty not only on their joins, because they're old models, but even for the base, there's some raised layers here that I have to even out, and one of the guy's back foot is really high here, so I have to do the same there, make like a rock underneath or something. But this is the guy that I chose. I had an actual perfect arm for him, but I had one that was damaged, and so I just took the damaged one and I 3D printed a mace just to give him something different. And so basically I have that, and I also kind of 3D printed a shield, and I kind of thought about putting a shield somewhere on him just to make it different, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. But I'm going to paint these guys probably after the Minotaurs. And I'm really looking forward to this because I just think these will be a really nice painting project. I just really love these models. I don't even know if I can get in real close to show the detail on this guy, but yeah, but they're really cool, old school. I think they'll look great on the gaming table. So I've got that, and let's see here. And one thing I'll mention, I haven't been gaming lately. I actually am doing a game of Warhammer Fantasy 6th edition on Tuesday next week. And
yep. Can you hear me? Oh, you're muted. You muted yourself. Uh-oh. Well, it's not a Musty Wargamers show without being, technical difficulties. Well, let's just see. Everybody's got a lot of stuff. There we go. Let me add them to the stream. And okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now. I had to kick your old self.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think I need to stop switching back between cameras like that. That started happening in an earlier show. It never used to happen. But yeah, all I'll just say to sort of finish this off is I know before I go to the drink, is I got a game for Warhammer Fantasy Battle on Tuesday coming up, and then we have a big game. Friend, 4 of us are playing a game, I believe, the following weekend. And so I've got some Warhammer Fantasy games coming up. And then after that, I ended up picking up that Xenos Rampant that we were talking about on the last show, because I saw a guy that did his YouTube channel. For those of you who probably watch YouTube that watch our show, there's a channel called Old Hammered. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with his YouTube channel, but he has, and maybe I'll put it in the comments. He's got a cool video where he went over Xenos Rampant. If you like Lion Rampant or Dragon Rampant, it basically is a sci-fi game that they've evolved a nice hardcover book that basically looks really good. And one of my friends already picked it up, and so I thought it would be cool to pick that up and use my Old Hammer 40K stuff and other things too. And besides that, for my drink tonight, I'm starting, because I have a feeling I'll get through this, with a Guinness. Whoa!
So where's Guinness from again?
Ireland, I believe. Why do you ask? Why is that? Is this a test?
I don't know. It was like it'd be interesting if we had somebody from Ireland on the.
Oh yes, I didn't even make that connection. Yes, we've got Mr. Dwayne in the house.
Yeah.
But and so I got that, and then I actually have a little bit of scotch I'll show later in case I run out of this one. Just to have a little taste of whiskey in addition. So that's me.
Hi.
Can you not hear me again?
Oh, I can hear you. I just don't want to be rude and I'll talk over top you.
No, that's me. That's all. That's my drink, my basic gaming stuff. I've been not really getting too much time painting, but a little bit here and there. I was away for a few days, like last weekend and a few days this week, kind of on a semi-vacation, because I'm working through the holidays this year. So we took some time just now.
You were on a hobby sabbatical.
Well, I wouldn't call it. I was more work sabbatical, but basically, I've actually had enough of a time off from painting that I'm not really looking to not paint. And I probably would have got some work done this weekend if we hadn't gone away. But oh well.
Yeah, it's I don't have to go anywhere for probably till I think it's February. I got to go to Cincinnati, but they're now talking about leaving on a Thursday to go to a wedding, and it's like, when's the wedding? That's on Sunday. And why are we leaving on Thursday? But it's like one of those things where he's like, do I have to go? Yes. I don't want to. I just want to be a Toys R Us kid. Oh, yes. It's like, catch up with some of the comments here. We got, it's Advent Savage box video. It's like, I don't know. Did I watch today's one or not? I can't remember. Oh, caught you guys live. Japanese whiskeys? Yes, it's Hatozaki.
Japanese whiskey is good.
It's very similar to me. Japanese whiskey is very similar to Irish whiskey, especially when it's been like triple distilled and stuff like that. It's very light and fruity. And Matthew says Jameson. I almost grabbed a Jameson, but then it was like the Japanese whiskey said, "Grab me." I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
Water. Just like
that? Yeah. Well, it spoke in Japanese.
Right. It didn't say grab me. Like
and it's like, okay, I'll do it. It's like only Heineken. All right. Smithy, it's Friday. Oh, can't be Friday. This is Thursday. You guys that live on the other side of the world. Oh, yep, there we go. That's the name of it. That's the name of the Japanese whiskey right there. Hatozaki. Evil Santa milk stout here. Oh,
Sounds good.
Evil Santa. Is it sweet and like a Christmas cookie? Corona and thinking of somewhere warm. Well, yeah, I guess you guys up north are get it cold. Right now it's like 35 degrees and it was pouring rain before we started the show. So here. So they're saying now that we won't have a white Christmas. We'll have a hot green Christmas. And yes, you can hear me. And yes, your mic isn't working. Wasn't working. Yep. That the link you sent of the channel?
Yeah, that's that guy's. That's the link for the video of that guy that I was talking about, where he talks about that game.
Traded the 6th edition rulebook during the year. Too busy playing BattleTech at the moment to check out at the moment, though. Yeah, I can see that where if you want to focus on one system, I can understand it. Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. It's like this Saturday, I am going across the state along with Mel. We're going to go play BattleTech.
Cool.
Continuation of the campaign. It's like this would be the 3rd iteration of the same game. It's like my brother took the game, he picked it up, put it on. It's on a big board, so he picked it up and put it on top of his Camaro. It's got a 94 Camaro with an LS6 engine in it, like type of thing, balls to the wall. Ireland, Dublin. Yep. Shoot me an invite to next time. Well, if you want to be on the show next time, we could do that. Tallest building in Dublin, I think still. That must be something. Either that or a Liberty Hall that's the tallest. Yeah, it's BattleTech. BattleTech. More BattleTech for me lately. I have a Peace River Heavy Gear Army. I need assembling, though. Peace River Heavy Gear Army. Heavy Gear. And Votan when I'm feeling keen. Yeah, I got the Votan guys to work on here. I get around to finish them. No, it's Friday here in the future. You guys are living in the past. That's a mind boggler. Not really sweet, flavored with cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. Well, yeah, that's sounds similar to. I used back in the day. I still brew beer, but I made a Christmas ale that had cinnamon, nutmeg in it, and a couple other smaller spices and kind of like that. And it was more of a barley wine style, running around 10% alcohol. It was pretty good. I made it, and then I took it to our Christmas family gathering, and I took 2 cases of it with me, and I left home came home and with 2 cases of empty bottles and a bunch of happy brothers.
I just realized I won't be able to put my I won't be able to put this over my headphones.
Oh yeah.
Now that I've got these like huge ones on my head this time.
If I ever have a white Christmas, I'm either overseas or the world's about to end. Where exactly are you living? I'm not sure. It's like we have about they say a 45% chance every year to have a white Christmas. Some years is colder years we have snow sooner and it stays around, but this year we had snow before, but it didn't stick around. And working on the fire support lands for the Great Death Legion. Finally painting the Kickstarter mechs. Yeah, the Kickstarter mechs, there's a lot of them. I still got a whole bunch of them to work on. I think I got 100 Kickstarter mechs to still work my way through. Not to mention all the ones that we picked up in the meantime. Hey, it's Jeff from Jeff's Model Car Garage. Are you down in Dallas right now, Jeff? I'm just curious because you were saying you were heading down there, hauling down there before you went out. Was it Portland or was it Seattle? I couldn't remember exactly which one you were heading to next. Oh, Australia. Yeah, that's like if it's snowing right now in Australia, something seriously, yes, because you guys are in summer, so we're heading into summer. That would be bad. So caught up with all the comments and cheers, everybody. I'm sort of in a quandary tonight. Do I have these. I don't know if I did a video on them or not. I don't think I did. It's a big giant. Okay. I was in Houston, Oregon, got canceled, so heading home. So head home tomorrow. Oh, okay. So that's not bad. Anytime you can spend your time at home actually working on any projects, getting your stuff built, hey, that's a good thing, right? But is that a bad thing? Because, well, you work for a company, right? So it's one way or the other. You're getting paid one direction or the other. But, just wanted to show some stuff here. All right. I got this little guy right here. You can see how well you can see him.
Is that another Bulgor?
That is another Centaur bowl for my Chaos Dwarf.
Yeah, that's what I call it, Bulgor. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I got them off Etsy. They're 3D printed ones, and he's nice and beefy comparatively.
Nice.
When you see, so I got those other ones. It's kind of give you an idea of the scale. This right here is your size of the old Centaur, Chaos Dwarf Centaur. Mm-hmm. This is the new size. I don't think I'm going to continue using these little guys in my army. It's like they just look out of scale.
Well, you definitely can if you're going and mixing and matching between later and newer stuff.
Yeah. The skis in me went to November for some unexplicable reason. Well, if it was colder, then you started getting snow or kept snowing. But then again, if you got a higher elevation, it's like when I lived in Colorado, you could get snow, heck, any time of the year. When I was stationed there. So I have that little guy. And then this one you're going to love. Okay. I'm printing and painting so many World War I ships. Yeah, if I was near you and I had the ability to play with you, man, I would be all over playing World War I Dreadnought style gaming right now. That'd be something I would want to do. All right, let's see. Here's the base of the guy.
Oh, wow. Pretty big.
I got this. This big giant monstrosity cost me like $30 to have it printed off on Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
It's 80 degrees here. Might not come. Yeah, it's nice now in Texas, but it's like hell have opened up and the world is coming to a melting in July and August, when it's super hot. Yeah, it's like you don't want to be there during the summertime. Okay. This see. Okay, that's a leg. That's one leg. Okay, that's a neck. I have to put this thing together here. Where's the head at? Ah, here we go. Here's the head.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it's still got more horns. You can see that's just the horn. The horns will go up farther. But that is the for the Chaos Dwarf Army. There is the what do you call it? Kadai Destroyer. That's it. Kadai Destroyer. This is the Kadai Destroyer. It's a big giant metal monstrosity. It's invested. It's a demon. So it's a huge ass demon that.
It's like inside of like a metal body or something.
Yeah. So I need to put this guy together, and he's going to be the centerpiece of the main crusher for my Chaos Dwarf Army, which I need to sit down and actually finish painting.
So, what do you have a particular set of rules that you typically use for that?
Well, there is the two different rule books. Basically, the Army Codex that came out in, was it into 4th edition? For fantasy. And then there was the one that came out in 7th edition. I think it was 7th edition. It was the, there's a Forge World one, and then there's the actual Games Workshop one.
Okay, right. So you're probably planning on some 7th with that, or no? Because that character you're talking about wasn't around in 4th edition, right?
No, the other ones were. All the other stuff that I'm talking about were part of the 4th edition, 5th edition, whatever it was. But those, the Kadai Destroyer was part of the Forge World book. And it was a huge, big, giant, thick book. It was. I got the PDF of it because Forge World discontinued it when they went to Age of Sigmar, and then they no longer printed it, and I could never get my hands on it. And now, if you find the book, let's say on eBay, it goes for like $200-300.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a large scale Bull Centaur. They did boost the stats to match that. To some extent, there's they're slightly smaller scale. If you Dan has seen the larger ones that I have. I posted a video a while back. I guess it's been 2 years ago, where they had the larger ones, because I went out and bought. I do have some of the Forge World ones that I had from. I picked up. I think it was Gen Con. I'd be down for a World War game too. Yeah, it's like I love World War I, World War II. I love naval games. It's like last was it June? We were talking about. I broke out my GHQ ones that I had. I showed. It's like those are 1/24 scale. As you're painting, are doing it what 1/18 scale or 1/16 or 1/1600 scale. I think it is. Ones I have are 1/2400 scale. Yeah, the amazing detail. Printed Zeppelin last night. That would be interesting to see what a printed Zeppelin looks like. If it's anything like the ones that you have for Dystopian Wars. We got some Zeppelins for that one. So as soon as I get done with this, start working on these American Civil War guys, I will 1/1600 scale. Yeah. So they're a little bit bigger than the ones that I have. It's amazing. You put the battleships are about the size of your cruisers. the best way to compare the scales with each other. Yeah. You gonna put those on the Musty Wargamers? The pictures, or the ones you're printed out. I need to finish this thing.
Now, did you say something about legs for that or something?
Yeah, there was legs that it's like you can see on here, right here where my finger is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a portal right there that where the legs are supposed to come down and it's supposed to come out like that, kind of like an angle, and it would sit out.
Yeah.
So it'd be like that, and they were all busted up when they shipped it to me. Every single one of them is broken in pieces, and I was like,
yeah,
I would have to use wire and all that, or use paper clips or something to create leggings.
Yeah.
And to me, it was like, nah, I don't feel like messing that hard with it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just went with the
basic ball.
Yeah.
So what were the other topics you wanted to talk about tonight? What you listened to, whether it be music or YouTube, and what you listened to or something?
Yeah, we had a topic that somebody asked me, was that if in case anybody else has any topics you want to discuss, and put them down in the chat room here, and we'll just talk about them too. That'd be fine too. Do you listen to, when you're painting, are you a music listener or are you a YouTube watcher? What's your primary source of background music? Or
when I'm in my hobby room, I use YouTube either way. I either listen to music or I listen to videos, but it's usually YouTube. I do sometimes like to listen to music when painting, but I also like to listen to videos too, and not always wargaming related. Like sometimes totally different stuff, and I try to listen to stuff where there's more talking and less that I have to watch. So if it's a video that's not music, it might be about some topic that I'm interested in. Then like something like that. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, it could be music. I find battle reports hard to do when I'm painting because I want to watch it.
Yeah, you want to keep up on how the ebb and flow of everything.
Yeah, how about you?
It depends. The mood I'm in. Sometimes if I'm like doing a assembly, or let's say I'm going to work on those 2 miniatures I just showed, and I'm cleaning them, and I'm not really caring about focusing. I'm just scrubbing and going that route. If that, mm-hmm. I might throw because I got iTunes over in the computer over there, mm-hmm. and I'll throw, let's say, the Who on or something. Some type of, because I'll have a whole album or something. I'll just tell them to play that album. That album might last me 40 minutes or so.
Right.
So I'll have that cranked up. There I'll be, at home alone by myself, not worried about annoying anybody else in the house. And the speaker's in the other side of the room, so it's not like it's blasting too loud.
And usually, is there a certain kind of music that you prefer over others?
Well, I'm a rocker myself. I like heavy metal type music.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have that going on in the background. So that way it's not distracting. And now if I'm going to focus on painting something specifically where I don't feel like I want to be distracted too often, I'll put a look for the longest video I can that goes for an hour and just let it go
Hmm.
on YouTube.
I find I will listen to just about anything that I like. A lot of times I'll actually listen to albums before I buy them on YouTube, and
Yeah,
and then like I'll use that as my time to just really listen through it, and then make a determination as to whether I want it in my collection. And but I'll listen to. But one thing that's notable is whenever I paint Beastmen, I used to like to listen to Jethro Tull because I just found like the flutes and like just the kind of music it was like just was really like kind
kind
of got me in the mood.
of bestial.
Yeah, I don't know if it's bestial, but it's very chaotic and like medieval, like and just kind of rock, like and it's just kind of a cool combination when painting Beastmen.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a roommate in college that was a huge Jethro Tull guy.
Yeah,
He would have that stuff blaring all the time.
blaring doesn't sound like a good thing.
Well, he thought it was great stuff, and I would throw on some, say, Iron Maiden or Judas Priest or something like that, and he was like, "That's garbage. Why do you listen to that crap for?" Like,
Well, I like to listen to Iron Maiden too. Um, I don't mind Judas Priest. I actually would choose Iron Maiden more often, but I like Judas Priest too.
yeah, I had a large selection of stuff. It's like you look at my wall of, it's like ACDC is a big one. Uh, Led Zeppelin's another one.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that channel? What do you call it? Professor Rock. I think I sent you some links to it
Yeah,
before.
I've seen his stuff comes up on my feed occasionally. It's
Yeah,
usually like this is the best song of 1981,
yeah,
something like that.
that sounds about right. And I was watching it today, and he was talking about. He was talking to Kevin Cronin, of Aria Speedwagon,
Hmm.
and how can't fight this feeling anymore. How it came about.
Hmm.
He wrote the song like 10 years before.
Before it was popular, like
Yeah,
before it really was released.
yeah, it was before it was released. He wrote it, and he's like he couldn't figure out how to get it to where he wanted it to be,
Yeah.
and the core it ended up where the chorus, "I can't fight this feeling anymore," was supposed to be uh, one part of the verses, and then he realized that, hey, that actually would be a good chorus. So
Mm.
so he changed the song around and everything, and it worked. And he's like, okay, let's get this done.
Mm.
And it hit me in the head. I remember seeing that tour in concert back in the day. It was a pretty good concert.
Yeah.
And I think I've
Probably.
seen.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No. Finish what you're saying because you're still on that topic. What with Speedwagon?
Uh, I think I've seen Speedwagon probably about 7 times.
Well, that's a lot actually. I've
Yeah.
never seen anybody that much.
Yeah, the only one that it was like Styx. Let's see, I've seen Styx 3 times. I say Billy Idol would be, well, no, it's not Billy Idol. I've seen him about 4 times. It would be Autograph would be the most, I think, about the same amount of time as 7 or 8, somewhere in there.
Well, I like, you know me, if I had to pick one style of music that I listen to the most, and it probably includes with painting just because it's what I listen to, it's like, I love like smooth 70s music, like either the smooth yacht rock like style music, you know, and some of it's Doobie Brothers, Christopher Cross, like Steely Dan, like jazzy, smooth rock, and even like 70s soul kind of stuff from that 78 to 82, like that time period.
Yeah.
Like my favorite time. I also like that the sort of new wave punk stuff that came out during that time too. This is my favorite time period. And I listen to that stuff all the time. That's like my go-to music.
Punk rock, huh?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a punk. No, more like I wouldn't say I'm like a hard punk rocker in the music I listen to, but that punk new wave kind of time, like even like the Talking Heads, like and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I really like a lot of the stuff that was influenced from it. I wouldn't say punk rock is what I primarily listen to.
So you're not a Sex Pistols guy.
No, not really. No, or Ramones or anything like that.
Yeah.
I like. It's not that I dislike that stuff, but it's just that's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this.
Yeah, that's an acquired taste. I had a friend of mine in high school, junior high and high school. He was a huge punk rocker music. He listened to everything he'd get his hands on. He didn't dress up as a punk rocker. He just liked the music.
Mm-hmm. Well, it definitely had a rebellious spirit for that time.
Yeah.
And I do like a lot of the influence in a lot of the music I like that punk rock had, like in a lot of ways, like in the way a lot of the vocals were. Even like guys that aren't punk rock, but like Joe Jackson and oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the guys that did Rock the Casbah.
Clash.
Yeah, the Clash, and yeah, like a lot of that stuff was like heavily kind of punk influence to me, like that kind of stuff.
It was a kind of a transition style rock between the two.
Yeah, and I like that actually. I like that those influences.
Yeah, we got it.
Well, Palmer needs his black lips and black eyeshadow, and he'd be a goth. I don't really like goth kind of music that much. Like, I wouldn't say I'm like a Cure fan or anything like that.
Oh my God! Do not. Have you ever seen the Cure in concert?
No. Is that bad or good?
Oh my God! I seen the Cure. They opened up for Billy Idol.
Mm-hmm.
They got booed off the stage because they sucked so bad for the concert. They're kind of a melodramatic melodic. Yeah, it's like their music is something to be acquired, I guess. And they were doing their thing, and it's like everybody started chanting, "We want Billy, we want Billy," and the singer was like, "You'll get Billy when we're done," and it's like, "We want him now," and they started chanting, "Get off the stage, get off," and it just started. The whole place started chanting that, and next thing you know, it's like stuff started flying up on the stage, and they're getting hit and pelted, and it's like. Then they finally just stormed off, and then everybody started cheering when they left.
Oh gosh,
it was bad. Yeah, it was not a glorious day for the Cure.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Even the Cure, there are some songs that are really popular that I can kind of get into the tune if it's on the radio because I've heard it so many times, and I can kind of
appreciate what they were going for, but I don't have any of their stuff, and I've never driven to buy any of it. But like I for a lot of folks seem to resonate in the comments with some of the heavier stuff. Like I said, I like Iron Maiden and stuff too, but I make no apologies for the fact that I like smooth rock, smooth stuff. It's what makes me feel good when I listen to it, and I like it. And like George Benson, like Ambrosia, like all of that kind of stuff from that late 70s, early 80s era. That kind of. Sorry?
Trying to place George Simpson.
George Benson. Yeah. That Give Me the Night? That song? No, wait. Yeah, Give Me the Night. I believe that was him. Yeah, that wasn't. That's like one of his big ones. Yeah, that's like one of his most popular. Give Me the Night. But it's just, it's kind of soul, kind of. He's not really soft rock. It'd be like more like soul, but no, yeah, I love all that stuff. I like a lot of the music that just came out in those years that I mentioned. For some reason, it's even though they're different styles, I actually just like that kind of area of time when music was being made.
Didn't like it when it came out, or just after?
When it came out, I was like 7 years old, and I liked it then too. But I wasn't like, I didn't know who I was listening to, because I was like at that point where I just would hear on the radio, and kind of transistor radio, by the way. Like I'd be like sitting there with a transistor radio in my room listening to it and not even know who I was listening to.
Yeah, it's like I had a AM little AM radio, handheld one. Back in the day, you'd sit there and we had the wire coming off the top of the house for the lightning rod went right by my bedroom window.
Mm-hmm.
And I run a wire from it to, and then I would hook it around my antenna, and I would be able to draw in lots of different channels that way. Otherwise, it was just whatever came out of Bemidji. It was the local station. That was about the best I could do.
Mm-hmm.
But then at night, I was able to get WLS Chicago, and I was able to catch all the music coming out of there.
I mean, there was a time when it was just a radio was cool, like be able to actually tune into stations and whatever. There was a time when that was actually a cool thing.
Yeah.
Now it's amazing that something comes with a tuner.
Yeah. It's like you have internet radios now. That's just a crazy thing.
Yeah.
And I remember when I got a AM FM shortwave radio. That was the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I could listen to shortwave.
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah,
I thought it was cool the first time I got a boom box in the 80s. Just like one of these boom boxes that you could put cassette tapes in and just whatever, and had the tuner and everything. But they were all the rage then. And this is when I didn't have like a house. I was like a kid, so I didn't, I could have had. I did eventually as a teenager have a stereo set in my bedroom, but the boom box actually came first because it was not as much of a commitment.
Well, I remember my first boom box was called my 67 Camaro. The old Craco radio in it.
My first car was a 78 Buick Regal, and I got it for $500. And then within 6 months, I put a $500 Alpine system in it.
Yeah.
So I literally actually...
The radio was worth more than the car.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was one of those kinds you could slip in and out too, pull it in and out of the dash.
Yeah, I made some money because I put my radio in. Then the girlfriend, she wanted a radio in her car. I put that in there. Next thing you know, word of mouth got out. It's like, this guy knows what he's doing. Just listen to it. So I ended up started putting radios in people's cars.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what do I owe you? It's like, well, just get me some, pay me in cassettes. Kind of the fun thing. Yeah, see, Mel.
The joy of wargaming has jumped in.
Yeah. We got audiobooks, sci-fi, 40K, fantasy, D&D, and death metal. Let's get the demons out. And Matthews, I listen to YouTube either way, to music, wargaming stuff, history, whatever. Yeah, that's all I like to listen to. One of the things I like, I'll put on World War II, the History World War II channel, the Great War, Kings in General. That's another good one I like listening to. Let's see, who else do we have going on? It's Tick, Tik. I love watching his channel. It's all related to World War II, mostly. And when you got a video that goes a half an hour to 45 minutes, you just put them on and just listen. And it's like, yep, I'm learning something. Mini War Mutt says, when building historical miniatures, I listen to YouTube history channels like Time Team. I never heard of Time Team. Time Team. I've never heard of it. I'll write that down. Time Team. What that's about. There's so many channels that it's just hard to keep track of anything. Dan says, I usually YouTube for me. Sometimes I just go to a channel and press play all. That way I don't need to mess with finding videos while painting. So another one is like you go to a history channel, and I like doing is the Great War. They have a playlist, and I'll just go to the playlist and figure out where I was at last in the playlist, and then let it go. Learn a lot of history. Sabaton. There we go. I got some Sabaton music. And Matthew Kelly's my YouTube playlist is full of Weird Al, B-52s, Faith No More, Dead Kennedys. Oh, that's interesting choice there.
There's a lot of early 80s stuff there, like really early 80s. Yeah.
Jesse's in the house. Hi, Jesse. Hi, all. Hope everything was having a good night. And it's like, this is Jesse's miniatures right here.
Sweet.
Those are his Voton miniatures. Voton.
Sweet like biscotti.
What's that?
Sweet like biscotti.
Yeah. Very Silent Mouse. Oh, we're up to another Aussie. Good morning, peeps. It's evening for us. You look at your roommate at college and say, you got another thing coming. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Judas Priest. Oh. Well, there's Slade, Quiet Riot, REO Speedway, Leroy, Led Zeppelin, Crocus, where the heck? Great White, Reaper, GRT, YNT, The Who, Metal Church. There's another good one. Metal Church, Supertramp, Styx, Tommy Shaw. Oh, Judas Priest is on the other side of that. My stack of paint. Robert Plant, Aldo Nova. Autograph, The Cars, Rat. We like Iron Maiden because we were teenage dirtbags. Professor Rock is good, yes. Yeah, even though he's probably the same age as Palmer, most likely, just a kid. Because he talks about having, listening to music with his dad as a young kid in the 80s. So. EMMP, experimental music must pay, has some nice 40s stuff. Huh. A lot of good God, death, rattle music.
Where's out of curiosity, did Matthew Kelly say where he was from? Is he the one that was from Australia when you were talking earlier? Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. Growing up in Long Island, New York, unless you like disco, you were a dirtbag. Like if you liked heavy metal or you liked rock, if you weren't into disco, or even like I like the origins of hip hop now. Like I actually like hip hop now, but I didn't really when I was growing up back then. And if you didn't listen to like where I was like hip hop or disco, then you were generally speaking you were a dirtbag. And so I pretty much fell into that category.
And say it's like if you listen to hip hop where I came from, you'd be beat down.
Well, actually, in New York, where I come from, I wasn't far from where it was started.
Yeah.
and so it's a little different. But having said that, a lot of that was around me, like, in the sense of in the radio and like it being popular, like the beginnings of it. But and the beginnings of it is very different than what, like it really evolved over time. I like the sound a little bit of it now, the retro sound of the original hip hop. But I just, back then, I wasn't very broad in my thinking about music. I kind of only liked a very narrow amount, like thing, for the most part.
The Clash are borderline punk. Female trance is what I listen to when I hobby. I am female vocal trance. I am not sure what that means.
Oh, I didn't see Very Silent Mounts come in. That's another guy from down under.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'm looking down and painting. I didn't see everybody that came in.
Clark says, I am a classic country rock guy myself. Presley, Cash, Hank Williams, Chuck Berry. I can understand the Presley, Cash, Hank Williams. I grew up with that stuff. So.
Like, despite everything I just said, my grandfather was diehard country and western and played in a country western band. And I have Merle Haggard, and I like Willie Nelson. I like Merle Haggard. I like George Jones was his favorite, and I like from that the Highwaymen, stuff like that. It's totally different sound than country that came out later. And so I have pretty broad appeal in music. I mean, I enjoy a wide variety of music. But.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of like Patsy Cline, Hank Williams, Loretta Lynn. It's like my mom and dad were huge fans of that, so I heard it all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, same here actually. I also in the 80s even liked Alabama, and some of the stuff that came out in the 80s I thought was good. They had a cool rock country kind of sound in the 80s that was good at that time, I thought.
Yeah. Alabama, now it's like a lot of the country stuff I feel is just like pop rock. They call it country. It's country, pop country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like it'd be fine on the Pop 40. A lot of the stuff I listen to here, like my daughter listens to that stuff, and I'm like, and she'll be like, "Well, that's country." I was like, "That ain't country." I grew up.
Everything kind of evolves over time.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, I like blues, which is the old form of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I use the AM radio when I drive to and from work. I haven't listened to AM radio since today.
The news, they have some good news stations here on AM and like basic basic news, and that to me is important news information. But
yeah, I like it's like my ham radio set that I got sitting right here. I just flip around and I can tune into AM radio with it or
Mhm.
shortwave and all that fun stuff if I
Well,
want
that's
to.
a whole another subject for you because you're all about that.
Yeah.
You're all about the shortwave radio,
Yeah. I
right?
grew up with it, so I love it. You can't, it's like shortwave radio is pretty much dead now. Here in the States, about the only thing you get is Christian radio now, shortwave radio. That's it.
You know the funny thing, even having this conversation here tonight, is that like if you try to actually in a general population at work put a radio station on at work, like where people, in my experience, if you try and like you have like 20 people in a workplace and you try to put a radio station on, you're ultimately going to make some people unhappy no matter what you do.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason is that like there's so much variety in music and generally speaking, it's the easiest way to divide a group of people is to force them to listen to each other's music. It's just funny.
Yeah, I was just listening on the talk radio. Was it yesterday? They were talking about that exact topic. Why people at this time of year are so mean and angry is that they have to. Some people are forced to have to listen to Christmas music.
Yeah,
and it just drives them nuts. Like,
yeah. My wife not only loves the Hallmark Channel, but she loves the Christmas music, and you know I can get into it for a couple of days and some of it, you know, but I overall it kind of drives me a bit crazy.
well, you keep hearing the same song over and over and over.
Yeah,
There's only so many of the same songs. So
as I get older, I like the stuff that I find the stuff that's most unique for me is the old stuff that my grandparents used to listen to. You know what I mean? Like stuff that, like when you were really young, that you heard them listening to. Like that to me is the stuff that I kind of like.
For Christmas music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you got Bing Crosby,
Nat King Cole, right?
Yeah,
like,
you get all the old ones singing a lot of the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
That, to me, that it's like as soon as you know, around here we got 104.1, I think it is 104.1 is the Christmas station right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we had basketball on the usual stations I listen to, so I flipped it over to the Christmas music just so I have some music going while I was fixing dinner. But, one of those things was like, it's like, oh, there's Bing Crosby. Well, that's the old Corona there. That's or who's so and so. Well, that's this guy, or that guy. You know. And my wife like, how do you know all this? Like, I grew up with it. You know? So,
yeah.
Audiobooks is also listening to. Yeah, I have my daughter has Audible, so I can listen to what is it, the Mistborn series right now. The new book came out, and she says I have to listen to that one. So I'll put a audiobook on sometimes and spend a week just listening to it while I'm working. Winnipeg Nightly Arts. So a new channel.
Cool. Another Canadian in the house.
Yeah. Well, I used to listen to Winnipeg radio where I grew up in Minnesota. All right. Mel must be putting like emojis or something up because I'm getting little box squares. I recommend the Fall of Civilization podcast, which is on YouTube if you like history. Fall of Civilizations podcast. That's another one to write down and think about. Okay, pencil. I know my son, he's always listening to card game podcasts or something of that nature. Recently got back into Battletech after 15 years and thought from the Inner Sphere has really been a great listen to. Oh, yeah. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah, I always like having people come in and watch that. That's one thing if I'm not painting something or putting another video up, that's one thing I do every week. I do enjoy making those videos. Time team is British. Okay. For the history. Welcome back to Battletech. Yeah, I'd say Battletech has been my longest love affair for gaming. Time Team was a BBC production. Tony Robbins, aka Baldrick from Black Adder, is the presenter. Okay. Joy Wargaming. The dog. You guys are too kind. Matthew, some Americans don't know Black Adder. It's been great, but there are some pretty slow at playing. We're pretty slow at Mega Mech has helped get me back into the groove. Yeah, it's like that helps because you're doing a digital form of Battletech. Blasphemy. Black Adder. I'm sneaky. And of all country, I like style. Like the styles Palmer mentioned. Old stuff. It's classic. I'll be saying Okie from Muskokie all the time. Don't get me started on today's country music. Oh yeah, like I said, it's some people think that's called country, but yeah. Well, if you didn't grow up watching the Grand Ole Opry on TV or Hee Haw, I don't know if you ever watched any of those shows, Palmer.
I've seen both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a mandatory must-watch every week when that was on. It was either you go pick up a
now
book.
I know why now I know why you'd get killed if you played hip hop around you. you just made it very clear.
Yeah. Boy, that ain't music. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you know what's kind of interesting is country music actually had a really popular station in Long Island, New York. Like, even though it's a metropolitan area outside New York City, people wouldn't think that's the case, but there was still a huge following. I mean, it's pretty much popular everywhere.
What was that John Travolta movie?
Urban Cowboy?
Urban Cowboy. There you go.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Be honest, I've seen maybe 30 minutes of it, and that was like little bits and stuff.
Yeah, you didn't like the movie? I thought it was good.
I never seen it in a theater. I remember my aunt watching it a couple times when we'd be over at her house, but I never sat through the whole movie. I just see bits of it here and there. I know that there was a mechanical bull in it, and they would dress up as cowboys and go do that kind of stuff. But when you grew up with people dressing like that all the time, it was like, what's the appeal? My fun side.
It was just a good.
Yeah.
It was a good story, and it was good actually to see John Travolta like transform into like that character. I mean, it was good.
I'm John Travolta, and I talk like this all the time because I can't move my jaw when I'm talking. It's like when you watch him act, you're like, does his mouth move? How does he talk?
Did you like him in Pulp Fiction?
Oh God! Don't get me started.
Oh, wait a second. You're the one guy that doesn't like Pulp Fiction.
That movie just royally sucked.
Like,
oh my God!
It's like on Rotten Tomatoes, one of the only movies that both the reviewers and the public all rate is like greater than 99%.
All three of them, all three people that rated.
Sure, sure. In any case, I'm not gonna actually rake you over the coals again for that. But
oh my God! I was like, I watched that movie and I was like, can I get those 2 hours back?
Anyway,
moving on.
I always liked Urban Cowboy. It was great to me, but and also it's that time when what do they say? It's like one of the songs in the movie. Like at that time, there was like this kind of major in pop culture, country and western push, like in the late 70s, like across the country, and it was just interesting, just the way they kind of put it in the big screen and kind of highlighted it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a song in that movie where the lyrics say, right now, all the Indians are dressing up like cowboys, and all the cowboys are putting leather and turquoise on. And it was just like a reflection of the time. It was kind of funny. It's a funny line.
That show Goldbergs?
No, I haven't.
Well, one of the episodes is they grow up. It's about growing up in the 80s, and one of the son and his girlfriend, they go, and everybody ends up going line dancing all the time. And they show up, it was like Barry and his girlfriend show up and they're dressed up in the full regalia. It's like it takes place in like Philly. And he's wearing his cowboy hat. He's dressed up like a cowboy and he's got the big buckle and everything. And and his friends are like, what are you doing? Like, we're gonna go dancing. What do you mean dancing? Line dancing. Okay, what's that? And it's like, well, that's where we do this and he's like, and it's like we dance with it's like, there's girls there. He's like, yes. Well, we're in.
So I said I would bring a little bit of scotch
to the party.
After I just finished my Guinness, so I'm gonna go for some Dalmore tonight. As you can see,
you've been
there's
abusing
not much.
You've been abusing that bottle hard.
Yeah, I like Dalmore. You have Dalmore too, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, I got some upstairs.
Yeah.
My punk side says I shouldn't know Okie from Muskogee word for word, but there's those small little hidden secrets in our background that says we have those things we do love. Bro, country is where you just play one riff, talk about drinking beer and driving a pickup truck. Do you know? It all comes down to if you play country music backwards, you get your girlfriend back, your dog comes back home, and your pickup truck is working again. Pretty much sums up country music.
I thought I was going to get to the black straps on this, but I think I'm just going to enjoy my scotch and chill out and talk for the rest.
Yeah, it's like when you start drinking too much, and it's hard to focus. I'm having fun with the comments.
Drinking too much.
I'm about ready to break.
Guinness is actually really low in alcohol content.
Yeah.
Let's see if I'm still right. 4.2%. By Canadian standards, that's very low.
Yeah. You guys
4.2% beer is low. People think because something tastes strong that it must be strong in the way it kind of kicks you. That's not right. That's not right at all. It's actually very like if I actually am out in an evening and like, having a meal or whatever, and I'm having more than one, drink over the course of a long evening, if I actually really want something, but I want to watch how much I'm drinking or whatever, I would rather order a Guinness, to be honest, just because it's really low in alcohol, content.
I drink Guinness if I'm having some type of heavy meat meal or something. I like it Guinness. Now, one thing is, I ever go to like Outback Steakhouse, then I have to have a Foster's.
With
Get
your
a big-
bloomin' onion.
Yeah, with a big old can, the oil can.
Isn't that the way all Australian food tastes? Like at the Outback Steakhouse? Isn't that the way, like that's the prototypical Australian food, Outback Steakhouse? I'm waiting for the Australians. I'm trying to get them riled up.
Kookaburra wings, bloomin' onion with your shrimp, along with your prime rib. There you go. That's your. And I eat there once or twice a year. Can't really afford to.
They don't have it in Calgary anymore. I used to like it. Their steak and stuff, but they didn't last here in Calgary.
No.
So what is Outback? Is it New Zealand? You say Very Silent Matt says it's not Aussie.
Well, it's probably not true Outback. It's
my wife is Aussie. It's good. I'm listening with earphones. Smash!
oh, smash! Not real food. My pickup broke down and my dog left me for my neighbor's wife. New country is not my taste, but there is still hope. Stapleton, the Dead South. Dead South, that's good stuff.
I swore that it was Aussie in the same way that Red Lobster was like authentic seafood.
It's seafood.
Isn't Red Lobster like where it's at when it comes to seafood cuisine?
Well, when you live in Iowa, that's about the closest you get to seafood.
Yeah, that's right.
It ain't authentic, but it's close to seafood. Yeah, Dead South is good stuff. I like Dead South. I actually like their stuff on. I first came across it. Their stuff on because they're Canadian, right? I think they're Canadian.
They might be, but I have no idea.
Because I came across them on Facebook on the playing videos, and it's like, hey, that's kind of interesting. I like that. That's
Long John Silver's is where it's at.
Hey, it's Long John Slivers. Oh my God, Christian radio would trigger me instantly. Oh yeah. Especially if it's American style, what stuff you find on the shortwave. Ooh, it's out there. Okay, I'm hungry. I'm going to find snacks. Yeah, we're talking about food. Must throw some shrimp on the Barbie for me.
So is anybody? I don't think that there's been any other topics thrown out there. I could actually talk about music on the Wargaming channel all night, or Scotch, or food. Because honestly, to me, I just like good conversation. But has anybody purchased a new game in the last couple of weeks? Like I mentioned earlier in the show that I got and it's on the way. It's actually from Amazon being delivered. I don't actually have it in my hands yet, but I did get the Xenos Rampant because I like Lion Rampant, or I should say I like Dragon Rampant. That's the one I own, but I like that system, and so I'm excited to get a hardcover to support them and they're putting together a hardcover. There you go, latest edition with a sci-fi version. Anybody else pick anything up? Looks like Winnipeg Nightly Art says Tactics Ogre Rebirth is amazing. Is that the Ogre board game? Oh, look at that. We got the Doers going on.
Well, it's like within hand's reach, I have this. I have this. Lotters. I got this.
So if you ever die in a thirst, you'd be okay.
Yeah, if I'm dying, I got this one too. This one.
Okay, I don't think I've ever had that one.
Usher. Yeah, it's not as good as it's similar to Doers. And then just sitting in the wings, waiting around, I got Canadian Hunter Rye.
Oh, And I've never had that one. So that's a Canadian, huh?
It's
brand.
Canadian. It's very heavy rye.
Where does it say it's made? Out of curiosity. Can you see it? Like, does it say the province?
I gotta get it under the light here. Imported and distilled from, oh gosh, what did it say? Zazarak Company, Frankfurt.
Frankfurt.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like a Canadian rye made in Europe and then brought back to the U.S.
Yeah, it's sent down and bottled down here. What does this actually say?
All right, it's time for Google. What's the name of that thing? It's called Hunter Rye.
Yeah, Hunter Rye.
All right, I want to see what's up with this.
I'm finding this disturbing.
Richmond, Virginia.
Where?
Richmond, Virginia is the first thing that popped up.
Okay.
Hunter and Scott rye whiskey is produced by Reservoir Distillery in Richmond, Virginia.
Huh.
Reservoir considers the Hunter and Scott line a younger brother of the family. But then there's something else that says Canadian Hunter, Canadian whiskey. That's a different one. Canadian Hunter is a different, made in Ontario at the Seagram's plant. Anyway.
Yeah, because mine is Canadian Hunter Rye. So
yeah, it's kind of suspect. Is it good though? That's the question.
I like it in my. I'll mix it with sweet sour.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like a mash. Kind of what the heck you call it. Can't even think of the actual name of the drink.
Well, I know you're still doing comments and stuff, but I was just going to mention just to the question that came out. Clark says he invested in the Enlightened for War Cradle's Dystopian Wars. Covenant of Antarctica. That's cool. I like looking at Rusty's Dystopian Wars stuff. I've never played it myself, but I do like watching his stuff.
Yeah, they've brought everything out now as in plastic versus the old resin that Spartan Games did. So it's a bit different. The rules are not the same rules by any means.
But I'm not liking what I'm hearing. No more resin. Rules aren't the same.
Well, it doesn't really matter because we no longer play it here. Okay. Like as much as I'd love to play it, I love the game. The game
kind of like a good game. Yeah,
it was a good game. I enjoyed it. I just loved the heck out of it. But a certain member of our group said he will never play it again. So,
well, Knightly Arts says Ogre Battle is a Japanese tactics video game. Okay, I am not familiar with it. And The Joy of Wargaming says Xenos Rampant is tight. I'm actually thinking about using it to play some Spanish Civil War battles. That's actually creative. You must have really looked into it because you're probably just using the advantage of ranged combat, etc., that they incorporate to use it in a historical setting that might not have worked as well with a medieval foundation. That's kind of cool. I just thought right behind my head, there's a case right here that has Rogue Trader, Orcs, and Space Elves painted, like really old school stuff. And I also have some original first fixed model Thousand Suns, like Chaos Marines, a little force to paint up. And I'm thinking that kind of stuff to be able to use this game for it. It could be fun. And then Knightly Art says it's a remake of a relatively old game that they've been refining for like 20 or so years. Cool. I do know some old video games because I was a Commodore 64 kid in the 80s, and so I definitely know some retro stuff, but I didn't stay with it over the years, video games as much. Very Silent Mouse, I got some more Battle Mix and a whole buttload of clicky tech and no new games. Clicky tech.
Oh, that's
What is that?
It's the BattleTech Click stuff that came out with.
Like the Hero Clicks, but BattleTech.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the era that no one shall not be talking about. It's like, who was it that made that for short? Fan Pro, I think it was part of it.
WizKids, okay.
WizKids Fan Pro. Yeah. It's like Winnipeg Nightly Arts. I thought you had a bit of a Minnesotan accent, eh? Yeah. I grew up just, if you know where Bemidji, Minnesota is, I grew up north of there around the Red Lake Indian Reservation. The back of the farm was next to the reservation, so that's how far north I was. So
we have Nightly Arts. We have a little bit of a Canadian contingent. Well, one, I think Chris is still in the house. I haven't heard him in a little bit, but he might be painting or something. But he's from BC, and so he was in the room just earlier. So he's in BC. But then we have a number of us that are from Calgary that jump in here too. I'm in Calgary. So.
And I'd say if it wasn't for a lot of the individuals from Canada, I wouldn't get a lot of responses on my YouTube channel.
Really?
Yeah. I look at the analytics of my channel.
Yes.
It's Canada, United States, and England. That large people that do respond are from Canada.
Sure. Well, I killed this. I killed the Dalmore. I'm gonna have to get some more now. I actually have to catch up on. I haven't been drinking the Scotch as much this winter as I usually do. But
Mini Warmat Hee Haw was awesome. I seen another and you was gone. Grandparents used to watch both Grand Ole Opry and Hee Haw. My parents all the time would watch those. That was they were huge in country singers. Or they still, my parents will listen to country music on the radio all the time. I'll go up and visit them, and it's like they'll have the AM radio on, and it's like if it's not talking about the news, it's listening to country music.
Mm-hmm.
Even in like 2015, they watch reruns on satellite. Yeah. You can watch the entire show of Hee Haw from start to end, and just watch an episode a night. You'd still would take you a long time to get through the whole thing. How long that darn show went. Buck Owens and Roy Clark were the best. Yep, I remember those two guys. Boy, Roy Clark could play a guitar like nothing else. That man knew how to just make that guitar just sing and up and down. He'd make rock guitarists today would looks like, what is this guy doing? The Goldbergs is it's a funny. The Goldbergs is really funny until this last season. The current season it's on the show is like, because they got rid of the grandfather passed away and the dad, they kicked him off the show. So it's the humor's gone downhill. I don't know how long longer it's going to be around. No Australians drink Fosters. Yeah, it's like drinking Budweiser. Foster's is Australians' version of Budweiser, and we don't drink that either.
You know, and it's funny you say that. I picked up some Budweiser recently, and I actually really enjoyed the taste of it because I hadn't had it in so long. Like I probably haven't had it in 20 years.
Yeah.
And then, but that was it does still have a very distinct taste. You know, like it's its own flavor, and
Yeah, it's very light and it's got that beechwood flavoring in it. That's
Yeah. No, I really liked it. I was we were at the cabin and I picked up a case of it because I think they also have I actually drink it's a sacrilege, I know, but in order to like not drink as much, like I actually if I want a taste of beer with dinner, I will often have a near beer, like a 0%.
oh yeah.
And I used to not like them at all. Like when the only thing you could get back in the day was O'Doul's or something. Like it didn't taste like beer. It's like, why would I drink this? But the Heineken Zero, the Bud Zero, like some of these ones are really good. I mean, like they're really not bad to have like with dinner. And you really don't. To me, I don't even know that I'm not drinking beer when I'm drinking it. And I enjoy that. If I,
But it's when you're drinking a near beer, you're drinking a flavored water basically that tastes good. That's
yeah. I mean, I think it has like 0.001% alcohol or something. I mean, they make it somehow. They probably make it with what is it? Not hops. I'm talking about like the sugary syrup that's in that you use to make beer. What's the name of that stuff again?
The extract.
Whatever it is
It's a barley extract.
Yeah, they're still using that stuff. I'm pretty sure when they make it, but.
And they're still probably using extract, and they're also using hop. They're using hops to give it the flavor, but it's instead of fermenting it for a period of time to get the alcohol in it, they're just injecting probably CO2 in it like you would carbonating pop.
Right.
So it's basically barley pop.
Well, for me, like it's a matter of I might not drink it at all, like particular day, and like but I like to have a drink at the end of the day. And so for me, if I want a dinner where I want the taste of beer but I don't really want to have a beer at that time, or whatever, I'll have something like that. And so I'm almost probably drinking 50-50, I would say. I'm probably drinking 50% near beer and 50% beer, I would say. But yeah, as I drink my scotch.
The interesting thing is that back when it was legal for me to drink beer at 18, we would go and pick stuff up, and most people were buying Budweiser or Miller, and I would buy a case of Foster's just to be different because I'm sitting there drinking it, the big oil cans, the big cans of it. I was just doing it because it was different.
Yeah, sure.
Nowadays, if I'm going to drink a American beer, it's usually Hams.
Oh, okay.
I like Hams. It tastes better than Miller or Budweiser.
Have you ever had Moosehead?
Yes, I got Moosehead in the fridge right now.
Yeah, I actually I like Moosehead. I actually don't drink it enough. Like it's not one that I would grab too often, but I actually have it. I got a case of it recently. So
it's $10 a 6-pack here for Moosehead, or I can buy 30 cans of Hams for like $20.
Oh, okay.
So it's like if I want a beer and I want a cheap one, I'm going to drink the Hams, and if I want if I want something really nice and flavorful, then it's Moosehead, Peroni. That's an Italian beer ale. Not ale, but a Pilsner, but it's like a northern German Pilsner, that kind of flavor. And then there's Warsteiner.
Oh, I like them. Yeah, that's good.
So lots of good German stuff too. I like.
Yeah, that's kind of expensive here. The Warsteiner, like to get a 6-pack of that.
Yeah, when you're talking $10 to $12 for a 6-pack, you don't drink it, just slurp it down.
I like Sapporo, since we were talking about like Japanese whiskey and things like that. Like it reminds me when we used to go to our favorite sushi place.
Yeah,
I'd always get Sapporo, and I like it.
So you like cut bait, huh?
I like sushi for sure. I do like it. I love wasabi, and that's half of it. I love the taste of wasabi. Yeah,
wasabi give cut bait flavor. We're gone wrong with shrimp. It's called prawns. See, that's the thing. It's like everybody's got this crazy thing. It's like they call prawns shrimp. Yeah, it's like whatever it may be. Now, but prawns, we always like to call prawns like jumbo shrimp, that type of thing.
Absolutely. That's actually one of my favorite things. I love seafood in general, but like I do like seafood, a lot of seafood, but you're just like classic ice cold shrimp cocktail. Like, just,
Yeah.
like your classic shrimp cocktail. Like, when I actually became pescatarian, and I don't even want to start anything in the comments, but when I actually, started eating seafood again and became pescatarian, like it started, I actually, one of the first things I wanted was like just a classic like shrimp cocktail, and it was delicious. It was so good.
Yeah, it's like we're no longer doing our Thanksgiving gatherings anymore since the COVID hit. There's one side of the family decided, we're not going to meet anymore. But we would sit down. It's like they would have a big, the big giant stainless steel bowls. It's huge. It'd have a little bit of ice on the bottom of it. And then that thing would just be a heaping pile of nothing but shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
With a big old bowl of shrimp cocktail off to the side.
Yeah.
And you just...
I could go to town.
Go to town. It's like, you just love shrimp. I like shrimp in many different forms.
Yeah. I grew up on fried shrimp, like breaded fried shrimp. And that was the only way I knew how to eat shrimp. Like, when I was a little kid, like that was the way my grandparents would serve it and stuff. And that's fine, but my favorite way to have shrimp is just really cold, like good shrimp, like, classic shrimp cocktail. That's my absolute, and I love it cooked into all kinds of things. Like I love shrimp so many different ways, but if I had to only have it one way, that would be the way I would have it. And that's generally what I kind of have like a craving for. Like sometimes if I don't have it for a while, that's what I would have a craving for.
That reminds me, I should make some chicken peony tomorrow for dinner. But I always like on the side, I'll take a pan and I'll cook up some shrimp, saute them up with some butter and salt and a little bit of that, and then I'll throw it on top of my chicken peony. My wife hates shrimp; she doesn't touch stuff, but I'll like throw that in extra. I'm like, yummy. And she's like, I don't know how you can eat that stuff. I'm like, very easy. I just stick it in my mouth and eat it. It's tasty. I love this. Outback is to Australian as American Chinese is to China. Yeah. American Chinese food is not Chinese. Now we do get, we do have some actual Oriental. Like we had, they closed since COVID hit, but it was a Vietnamese restaurant. So you get true Vietnamese style, then you actually add true Mandarin style food. And my brother and I, like when he was up at Camp Dodge up there, because he was the facilities coordinator. Mel was worked as security there too, but we'd go. He'd get off work and he's like, where do you want to meet? It's like, well, let's go over here, and we'd go eat out. It's like good food.
I know it's far down in the comments, but Matthew Kelly is heading out. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Not true. There's Joe's Crab Shack. Where's Joe's Crab Shack? Where's that? I don't know.
He's probably saying that the Red Lobster's not the only thing in town or something like that.
I don't know. Tactics Ogre Rebirth is amazing. As the Ogre game. Still, the best food is Taco Bell. Keeps you moving. You can't purchase anything new. Never enough money anymore. That is true. We both suffer from the same problem. It's like you don't have enough money to go for anything. It all goes towards gas now and food. Invested in the light. Okay, here we go. Caught up with that. Covenant of Arctica, the dystopian War Creators, Dystopian Wars. I do have a box of, where the heck is it? I just had it here. So there we go. War Cradle did send me this here. It is. The heck are these guys? These are the Empire, the Prussians.
Yeah,
So,
I remember. That's when. Is that when they actually first released the new set?
yeah,
Yeah, I remember you actually going over that on the channel.
yeah. I did a quick review of it, and they sent it to me for free. It's basically 3-ship thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been like 2 years ago, I think. Ogre Battles is a Japanese tactic video game. Oh, okay. Joy of Wargaming. Xenos Rampant is tight. It's actually thinking about using it to play some Spanish Civil War battles. Interesting. To remake an relative old game that they're refining for like 20 years or so. I got some more battle mechs and a buttload of clicky tech. Okay, that's where we got that. Don't have a frame of reference of older version of Dystopian Wars, but I have enjoyed the new system quite a bit. Yeah, it's like comparing the old and the new. It's like they took some aspect of mechanics of the old one and put it into the new one, and then redefined it into something totally new, comparatively for a game system. WizKid Battletech. Yeah, the era that shall not be renamed. Questionable quality. There's no questionable about it. It's been so long ago, I've missed the reference to that one. Canadians represent, I guess it's the meaning to go to the Helmet tournament in Minneapolis, but the last 2 years got deleted. Yeah. Yeah, we had a discussion not long ago that we're probably not going to go back to do Origins or Gen Con again, just because they said that you got to wear masks all the time, and I can't handle having a mask on for 30 minutes because then I get migraines. So kind of sucks. My cousin drinks Heineken 0. Okay, and he's a singer in our band, and it's good that he doesn't drink alcoholic beer anymore. Yeah, there's some people that don't handle alcohol very well. Moosehead is great until it starts tasting like a tire halfway. The second. Well, the secret of Moosehead is drink it cold. Some beers
I have that. I like Moosehead.
Yeah, I love Moosehead.
I find I don't know if people might disagree with me on this, but I find the premium level, like I find it goes from Moosehead to Heineken to Grolsch in like a style of beer for me. Like they fall within a zone where Moosehead is the least premium, Heineken sort of the middle of the road, and then Grolsch is like a step up. And then Grolsch, by the time you get to Grolsch, like there's a real skunkiness that you either like or you don't. But
the problem is with Grolsch is that it comes across the pond, and it usually sits on a container ship, and by the time it gets here, it gets that off flavor.
Well, and I find it's actually something I actually like that flavor. I just don't think everybody does, but I find Heineken has a little bit of it, not to the same, nearly to the same level, and I don't find Moosehead has any of it, but it still kind of falls in the beginning of that category for me. Yeah, I don't know, but I like all three of them.
Yeah, that it's one of those things where there are certain hops will cause to have that. There's some hops will give you kind of a metallic kind of taste to it. There are others that have that kind of a more grassy. But it's just the different types of processing they do with the hops and age of it too. And if it spends a lot of time warm, then it has a tendency to speed up the process a bit too. But like you said, I don't mind it. I can't remember the last time I seen Ralsh on the shelf.
We have it here. We definitely can get it here.
It just depends on it's in the city, but I have to go across town to a different store to find certain things.
It used to be you could only get it with the flip top bottles, right?
Yeah, I have a bunch of those because back in the 80s I used to keep buying Grolsch, but it's like I'd buy it by the case, get it.
And then you'd save those bottles to put your beer in that you
Exactly, because it was easier because I get the little rubber stopper thing, replace them, and it's like I fill them up and just clank it down, and there you go. And it's like I could probably go in the fridge right now and find a bottle of it. So, but I still got my capper and everything, and I cap my own beer. Sushi and sake. Oh, great. I don't know. It's like my son, he got into a kick for a while. He was drinking sake, and he'd bring a fresh bottle of sake home. It's like sake, it's like wine. It's rice wine. So you have to make sure you drink the whole bottle. Because like any type of wine, it oxidizes quickly and goes bad. If you drink too much of it, though, you get a headache.
Mm-hmm.
Got a rolls heading to the club to play some Baltic. Yep. It'll be fun. Anyone play the old Games Workshop game? Man of War. I've been watching videos on that lately and looks good. You can still find it on eBay or download all the card rules and templates for free on Facebook group. Let's see. I used to have the box set along with a bunch of the miniatures, and around 2000, I guess it would have been 2008, 2010 period when I was selling off a lot of my stuff. That's one game I did get rid of. But I used to have.
And I've never played that one, but I have friends that have played it. Yeah,
it wasn't bad. It was I like naval games, and I used to play it a lot. And then we played at the club or at the games shop, but people moved on, and to me it was just sitting there collecting dust, never to be used. So I decided to sell it off. Mm-hmm. I think I still have some miniatures. What box would those be
in? Maybe another time.
Yeah, it's like, well, they're sitting right here. They're within hand's reach, but I'm just like want to have to dig through. It'd be in my what do you call it? Those are orcs. Oh, it's the bottom box, so I don't want to dig into the bottom box to get to them. It's like 3 boxes stacked on top. But yeah, it's if you got a complete box, starter box, and along with some expansion miniatures to go with it, it's not a bad system. But it's just like your typical Games Workshop stuff back in the day when they actually made games that were fun. Mm-hmm. Oh, Beck's is another good beer. I like Beck's. I think I played Man of War once. If you've been playing Games Workshop stuff in the 90s, you probably played it at least once because somebody at the club or shop usually had a copy of it, especially when it first came out. We used to play it. I think we played for about a year before we moved on to other stuff. About the same time, we were playing Blood Bowl. And then Epic. Did we lose your mic? You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, now I have to get rid of this cam. I unplugged this cam that I have over here, and I guess it was using that mic.
Oh, okay.
It's not using my Snowball mic, my better one. I should probably just do that now. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, we played Uncharted Seas as well. It's like Uncharted Seas was the very first game that got us into Spartan Games, which then we started playing Dystopian Wars. That's how we really got it to do into Dystopian Wars, was because of Uncharted Seas. It's the same game system. Uncharted Seas and Dystopian use the same mechanics. It's just that one's more fantasy, one's sci-fi. It was a fun system. And I was using some of my Man of War miniatures for Uncharted Seas. That's why I was looking at where they were heading, because it's like I have some plastic ones that I think they were Reavers, but they were long ship Reavers.
Mm-hmm.
So good system.
Cool. Well, I think I'm gonna have to bolt. I think we're just about at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
I got painted what I mainly wanted to get painted tonight, which was good, and got to have some fun conversation, which is even better.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a conversation about stuff, about what's going on and everything, and just sitting around the water cooler talking about game stuff.
Some folks are probably coming in and like thinking for the first time that they're joining like a wargaming channel, and it's like all this country music talk and stuff, and like what the hell is going on?
We're an eclectic, weird group.
This
Hey,
is weird,
across everything, man.
So
We're all not
anyway,
punk rockers and heavy metalists.
Yeah. Thanks to everybody for coming down. We'll have to talk too. We never intended not to have special guests on too, and we'll have to talk in the future about bringing in some guests actually as well.
Yeah,
'cause that's always fun too.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll have to have somebody
Old
drunk guys.
pretty much. On a
Back
Thursday night.
in my day, that's the way we did it, and we liked it.
That's right.
Let's see. In 2 weeks, today is the 8th, so we're looking at 14, so the 22nd. So
Yeah,
we should be fine. But for you,
I think so. It's not Christmas yet. We could probably still. I think we're hitting all the holidays now, but we won't be doing it on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. But we could probably do the 22nd. It'll still be a tough time for some people if they're going to join or not.
Well, we did it on Thanksgiving here, which
exactly.
Night, guys, got a lot to painting done. Thanks for the conversation. Yeah, we kept you entertained.
Yeah, we can do it in 2 weeks on my side at least.
Yeah. So I have nothing planned. All I know is that I might be going to Iowa City and back that day, but that's in the morning, so that's no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a delivery run, so no big deal there.
Okay. Don't ask, don't tell.
It's like, well, my chiropractor wants to use my truck, so I'll drive stuff over, and he wants to pick up a adjustment table, and he's going to pay me to go pick it up and back.
And a large set of artificial backs to practice on. All right. Well, see you next time, everybody.
All right, we'll see you, everybody. Good night, everyone. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Night.
Good night.